A secret that few men know. Advice from an experienced lady. Today, we'll look into one of the most intriguing mysteries of female sensuality, a secret that has the potential to transform any relationship. Assume you already know all the tricks for making someone's heart beat faster, but what I'm going to teach you today is how to find the real key that will change everything. Have you ever seen how a simple kiss can make all the difference? That moment when everything feels more intense, more electric. Consider a kiss that is not given anywhere, but rather in a specific location that is extremely sensitive, capable of eliciting an explosion of sensations. The G-spot. That's correct, we're talking about a small spot with enormous power. It's not your average kiss. It's a touch that can turn a peaceful situation into something hot and passionate, like a campfire on a cold night. When stimulated properly, this point can provide a woman with such intense pleasure that she feels as if she is touching the sky. Before you begin, make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you don't miss any updates. If you'd like to learn more about seduction, check out the book I recommended in the comments. Take advantage of the final few copies. And the best part? Today, you'll learn where to find this point and how to touch it in a way that can make a huge difference in intimacy. It's not just about the location, but also about the best way to discover this secret, which has the potential to transform two people's pleasure and connection. Prepare to learn something that will completely change the way you perceive sensuality and female pleasure. The power of the G-spot in intimacy. Friends, girlfriends, and anyone curious about intimacy, today we're going to look at something that, despite its small size, is extremely powerful, the G-spot. When this little magic button is pressed correctly, it can cause a real explosion of sensations, similar to how fireworks light up the sky in a matter of seconds. But, before we get into this fascinating topic, have you ever felt like you possessed a hidden superpower? If you already know how to kiss, caress, and stimulate the G-spot, you're on your way to mastering the art of sensuality. The G-spot may appear discreet, almost shy, but it is a true center of sensations. It has over 8,000 nerve endings, all of which are ready to be activated with the right touch. Imagine this. In a moment of intimacy, you decide to kiss that special area. But this isn't just any kiss. A kiss causes the entire room to vibrate. The G-spot, as the center of pleasure, will respond in a way that you will never forget, as if you had pressed a button that began a magical journey to ecstasy. The most incredible thing is that, with a little practice, patience, and a lot of attention to detail, you can take your partner on this journey of pleasure over and over again. Each touch and kiss can be a new discovery, a new experience, and this journey can become an important part of your relationship. The G-spot, despite its small size, holds the key to deep and intense pleasure, waiting only for the right touch to unlock its full potential. And mastering this art not only improves intimacy, but also creates unforgettable moments that strengthen your bond with your partner. If you've already kissed your partner's G-spot, leave a like on the video and we'll move on. Techniques and tips for G-spot stimulation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is there an instruction manual for this? Well, yes and no. There is no exact recipe because each woman is a separate universe with her own preferences and sensations. However, there are some tips that will not disappoint you. For example, gentleness is necessary. And by gentleness, I don't mean being predictable or boring, but rather creating a delicious tension that makes the G-spot want more, almost like an irresistible invitation to keep going. Remember that communication is your most valuable ally. It never hurts to ask yourself if what you're doing is effective and if you're on the right track. But here's the secret. It's not just about kissing, it's about doing it at the right time, with the right rhythm, and, most importantly, with the right intent. Because, yes, kissing the G-spot with passion and care can signal the start of one of the most intense and memorable intimate experiences. And if you're still not convinced, let me tell you something. A well-placed kiss on the G-spot not only arouses a woman's desire, but it can also form a strong bond of complicity, trust, and, of course, immense pleasure. This type of kiss has the ability to transform intimacy into something magical, bringing pleasure and connection together in a unique way. And isn't that ultimately what we all want? To truly connect and create memorable experiences. Remember our digital book, which I pinned in the comments? There are only a few copies left, so get yours now. Tips for maximizing female pleasure. How can you use what you've learned about the G-spot's power? First and foremost, remember that it is more than just going in and kissing. The context, environment, emotional connection, and, of course, your partner's level of arousal are all factors that influence the outcome. So don't rush or act like you're putting out a fire. Instead, take your time, explore calmly, and most importantly, pay attention to her responses. Here's a trick that can significantly improve the experience. Variate the intensity and rhythm of your kisses. According to studies, varying the stimulation can elevate pleasure to new heights. Instead of repeating the same rhythm, alternate between soft kisses, light tongue touches, and firmer lip pressure. Remember, the secret is to pay attention to your partner's reaction. Observe how she reacts to each movement and touch, and adjust your strategy accordingly. This type of exploration, when done with care and attention, not only increases pleasure but also strengthens your bond. By adjusting the rhythm and intensity, you can create a rich and dynamic experience in which each touch is a new discovery. Best of all, by paying attention to your partner's responses, you gain a better understanding of what she truly enjoys, making each moment more special. Do you intend to make the most of it with your partner? Write in the comments, "I'm willing," and I'll release a special bonus for you. Curiosities and wisdom acquired through age. We've already discussed how to kiss the G-spot and what science tells us about it. We are now entering a territory rich in curiosities that all men, particularly the elderly, should be aware of. We gain experience over time, but there is always something new to learn, something that can surprise us and enrich our intimate lives even further. I recall a conversation I had with a close friend, a wise and experienced man in his 50s. He told me that as we get older, we begin to value things differently. It's no longer about quantity, but about quality. And he was absolutely correct. Our understanding of sexuality evolves over time, and this is where the true value of knowing your partner deeply and understanding what truly makes her happy comes into play. As we grow older, we realize that intimacy is more than just the act itself. It is about connection, affection, and mutual understanding. We learn to appreciate each moment, pay closer attention to details, and recognize that sometimes less is more. At this point, we realize the power of a gentle touch and a whispered word, and how these gestures can have a significant impact on the experience. Furthermore, as we get older, many of us realize that true pleasure comes from a strong and genuine emotional connection rather than techniques or skills on their own. Knowing what your partner enjoys, what makes her smile, and what helps her relax can be as important as any technique you learn. And this wisdom, the ability to understand and appreciate the nuances of intimacy, comes only with time and experience. So, no matter your age, there is always something new to learn and ways to improve your intimate life. And perhaps the most important lesson of all is this: prioritize quality over quantity, and always seek a genuine connection with your partner. This, above all, is what makes intimacy so unique. Communication and emotional connection here is an interesting fact. Did you know that G-spot sensitivity increases with age? Well, gentlemen, recent studies show that some women become more sensitive as they age. This means that G-spot stimulation can become even more pleasurable over time, completely altering the dynamic of intimacy, particularly for those willing to slow down and savor the moment. This discovery is especially important for those who prioritize quality over quantity, because increased sensitivity can make every touch and kiss more intense and satisfying. And this brings us to another critical point: communication. communication becomes increasingly important as we get older. We often believe we know everything about our partners, but the truth is that there is always more to learn. And there's nothing wrong with asking her directly what she enjoys, what makes her happy, and what she prefers to avoid. Talking openly about these topics not only strengthens your emotional bond, but also makes intimate moments more effective and enjoyable. When you communicate clearly and honestly, you create a trusting environment in which you can express your preferences and desires without fear of being judged. This can result in deeper, more satisfying intimacy, in which both partners feel valued and understood. Don't underestimate the value of a good conversation. The simple act of asking and listening can be as effective as any physical technique. And as sensitivity grows with age, open communication becomes essential for ensuring that you both make the most of every moment together. After all, intimacy is more than just physical contact. It is also about the emotional bond you share. So, as you can see, learning something new is never too late. Age brings wisdom and experience, but it also allows us to continue exploring and improving our intimate relationships. Why not take advantage of this opportunity? Every moment we spend together provides an opportunity to connect on a deeper level and experience the unique complicity that only intimacy can offer. If you enjoyed this video and believe that these curiosities can improve the lives of others, please like, share, and leave a comment. I'm confident that these tips will help many people improve their own intimate experiences. Let us share this wisdom and make deeper, more meaningful connections.